Hey guys, it's Bromos and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be breaking down several trade setups in terms of determining whether the stock will go up or down based on technical analysis. Before we start, just want to remind you guys to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you see value in my content. Anyways, let's get started. So here we have a stock that's been trending down for about 2 months before starting to slowly move up. What can we say about the setup here? Pause the video and try to make an educated guess. So the key is to look at different things that are happening with the stock. First, we can see that it closed above the 50 SMA line and the 200 SMA line with a strong bullish candlestick. This indicates that more buyers are about to step up here. This move alone is not enough to fully determine whether the stock is bullish or not, so let's see if there are any other bullish indicators. We can see that it broke out of a long-term downtrend for about a few weeks ago based on the falling pennant. But what does that mean actually? It means that we're starting to form an uptrend. Okay, so we have more bullish indicators right now. So at this point, I would be more confident that this play is bullish. Not only did it break out the falling pennant, but it also broke out the ascending triangle. The only thing that I love more than both flags is breaking out multiple chart patterns because that gives me more confirmation in play. Some of you might be wondering, what is confirmation? And I promise you that I will do a future video on it, but basically confirmation on a chart pattern describes trading opportunities based on credibility on the data. In this case, we have multiple breakouts and a close above the 50-200 SMA line, so in my opinion this looks good so far. And let's not forget that the MCAD is curling upwards. So my plan for this would be to buy around this area and have my stop loss below the 200 SMA line, which was the previous resistance of the ascending triangle, but now acting as support. My risk on this is about 7 to 8%. My price targets would be around 14 to 35% increase for my entry based on these levels of resistance. So my reward risk to ratio here is good. So now let's see if the trade worked out for us. Nice! It made a 50% move from our entry. In this situation, we would have made a good amount of money if we stuck to the plan. You might be asking, what does that actually look like in this situation? Let's take a look. So after it broke out, we can see that it formed a bull flag. For those of you who didn't take this trade earlier, they could have added the breakout of the bull flag. Otherwise, those who were already in could choose to sell some here or all of them while raising their stop loss to the area of the resistance. Then once we hit the second resistance line, we could sell some or all here and raise the stop loss. Eventually we would get stopped out on the way back down, but regardless we are happy because we made money. Let's look at the next example setup. Here we have a stock that's been climbing up the stairs for several months before tanking and climbing down the stairs before moving up and consolidating. What do you guys think is going to happen here? Pause the video and make an educated guess. The first thing that comes to mind is the cup and handle chart pattern. A cup and handle looks like a teacup where the cup is a U shape and the handle looks similar to a falling pennant. Typically the handle has decreasing volume. Some of you might be thinking, doesn't this look similar to another chart pattern? Yes folks, we have a bull flag here as well. I have yet to see this theory proven wrong, but I can confidently say that every cup and handle has a bull flag inside of it. The opposite, however, does not always hold true. Whether you're looking at the bull flag or the cup and handle chart pattern, we can agree that they both pull back to a level of support with low selling volume. What does that mean exactly? It means that sellers are starting to die out and that buyers should be coming in soon. The stock also bounces off the 50 SMA line, which is a major sign that buyers didn't want this to drop. This acts as a nice confirmation for me in terms of me taking a position with the stock. Is there anything else here that we can find that would give us the extra juice? It also broke out of a long-term downtrend with a descending triangle, which further illustrates that the stock is heading towards an uptrend. Given all the facts, I would definitely like to take a position with this stock. And before I forget, we can see that the MACD and RSI is curling upwards. Now let's go over on how I would take this trade. You could either buy now or at the breakout of the cup and handle. Set your stop loss at around the 50 or 200 SMA line, risking about 3 to 6%. Then set your price target on different levels of resistances. Potentially we could get anywhere from 15 to 30% based on this chart. Now let's see what happens. Boom, it continues to move up. Let's see how our trading plan would have worked out here. At this area of resistance, you could choose to sell some or all and then make this your new stop loss area. At this point, you're 15% above your entry. Then you would sell some or all around here for around 24% and making this your new stop loss. However, we get stopped out quickly from over here as it was unable to go any higher. If you didn't make that your stop loss and kept your previous one, then you would have still got stopped out below. Regardless, you still made money on this stock for just sticking to the trading plan. Let's move on to the next setup. Here we have a stock that's been moving down for over a year and moves up with a big move before consolidating a bit. Can you guess what's going to happen here? Pause the video and make an educated guess. So the first thing that should pop into your head is that it's been on a long-term downtrend for a while now. I tell people to try avoiding playing downward trend patterns unless you have an indicator that tells you that this will reverse. Notice how we have multiple rejections at the resistance of the chart pattern. Not only that, but that resistance is where the 50 SMA line lies. Given that piece of information, it's clear to me that unless we can break above that, we're not going upwards anytime soon. We can also see that we're at another area of resistance here. There's a bull flag there, which is the only good sign at the moment, but it's still underneath the 50 SMA line, which further illustrates that in order for this to be a real move for the bulls, we would need to break above the 50 SMA line. If that wasn't enough, the RSI is curling downwards. Based on all this, I wouldn't even consider a position with this stock. Let's see how the shorts are thinking in this situation. Shorts will try to pile when they break below this level of support here. They will try to take profit around this area of support right here. So in theory, someone could try to buy down here thinking they might catch the bottom. Shorts will stop out of it. Shorts will stop out if it breaks above the 50 SMA line. Now let's see what happens with this stock. Bam! It tanks like the Titanic. So sad that it failed to even break above the 50 SMA line. A lot of plays I find like this on the weekly chart, and instantly I'll be like, I'm not going to even play this. No way, Jose. Now let's move on to the next step. Here we have a stock that was slowly moving down before dropping hard and then starting to slowly move up before gapping up high. Can you guess what's going to happen next? Pause the video and make an educated guess. So here we can see that there was a major rejection at this line. Just because the volume looks green here doesn't mean that the buyers are in control, which is more evident by the top wick. This is basically saying that the bulls tried pushing this higher, but the bears were like, nah, you're going down. Next we can see that although it was at an uptrend, it still failed to break out the trend. Now there is a chance that it could still try to break out, but given the huge amount of volume, I would be scared to consider a position here. Also note that the RSI indicates that we are in an overbought zone, and more than likely this stock should start to go down. Let's see how shorts will try to play with this. Shorts will start jumping in when they break below this area of support here. They will have their stop loss above the previous high of day and try taking profits at around the bottom of the rising pennant. Let's see what happens. Bam, it moves down. Not even the support area of the rising pennant was enough to stop the stock. We can also see that it tried resisting the 50 SMA line, but ultimately it wasn't enough to stop the shorts. Eventually, it tried retesting it, but once again, it couldn't break above. Now let's see at one more example before we wrap up this video. Here we have a stock that's been moving up and down for quite a while now. Pause the video and try to make an educated guess on what's going to happen. So here we have a cup and handle chart pattern. Once again, I'll reiterate that every cup and handle has a bull flag inside of it. We can see that the cup and handle is pulling back to support. Previously, it bounced off the 50 SMA line with a doji candlestick before making a strong move up. This is a strong sign of confirmation that this should continue moving upwards. Furthermore, we can see that the stock is at a current uptrend. Now, this is definitely a setup I would take. Now, let's see how I would do so. I would buy either at the breakout or pullback to support. I would sell if it broke below the 50 SMA line, so I'll be risking around 12% here. Then I would try to sell some or all at the top of the handle for a 12% gain. Usually I like having my reward twice my risk, but there will be exceptions when I have them, but that's only on if I truly believe that the setup is going to work out. If you can't determine other areas of resistance to help calculate, then look at other time frames to see where those levels of resistance are. Now let's see what happens. Nice. The stock moves around 50% upwards from our entry before going down. Let's examine how our trading plan would have worked out. At this point, I would have probably sold all because I didn't have another price target in mind. However, some of you could have easily just sold some and just waited for just kept going on the ride up by referring to the other time frames to see how high the stock has been. Your stop loss would have also increased. For this example, I didn't use a higher time frame, so my I only had one price target. At around this area, you could have sold some here or all, because now we can see it went over the rising pennant and you would have to move your stop loss up again to preserve those profits. The stock goes down at this point, and then you would have sold all your shares for a nice profit. See how fun it is when you can make money off a stock when you use technical analysis? Anyways, that's the end of the video. Once again, if you guys enjoy my content and want to support the channel, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, or just want to say hi, feel free to mention in the comments below. Anyways, have a great day, friends. See ya!